The next set of commands we have is disk usage commands. What is a disk? Disk basically talks about storage, right? So how do I find out how much storage has been used or how much space left? Because this is one major job of an Unix guy or an DB2 administrator or any administrator in fact. The first command we have here is df command. We have already looked at df in our previous sessions. The df command gives the output as space usage at a file system level. What do I mean by file system here is, if I compare with Windows, in Windows you have a C drive, D drive, like this drives, right? At a drive level, you can quickly go to that my computer and see how much is the space used and how much is the space left, right? At a high level. So similarly, df also gives the output at a file system or a drive level at a high level. When I say this command here, df, it tells me that there are three file systems. The three file systems have been represented in a human readable format as like this. So this is something that Unix guy or a storage guy can understand. This is a normal user understands it. Because I do cd to this, not to this, I do a cd to this path. This is a mounted path of this file system. But if you look at df, will tell me that at a high level how much is the storage allocated, how much is the storage used, how much is the storage usage percentage, available bytes. The 1K blocks in fact, 1024. Now if you want to see this in a little more understandable way, df-h. So it makes more sense here to see rather than this way and this way. It tells me in the way that I understand much better. I can say df-a. It will also show me that 0-byte files systems. You don't really get into these 0 bytes as an application user. All you take care about is at a high level, how much is the space left. Why do we have to worry about a space and where do we exactly use this df command in real time is, if there is a need to install a product, for example like a DB2 or Oracle, any product or Informatica, the product installation has some requirement, right? The production installation document says, the pre-installation document says we need close to like 1.5 GB or 2 GB space. Now you quickly come to your file systems and see where you have that much of space. For example, if you look at, I have like 9.6 GB space here. I cannot install product in this file system, or I cannot install in this file system because I don't have a 2 GB space available. See my point? That is where we use df command as an user point of view. So this guy has like close to 9.6 GB available. So better use the space inside this file system. The same as in Windows, man. See, while you install the product, it will ask you that, where you can install it. You cannot even copy a movie to M drive if there is no enough space. That's the same concept. Since I don't have a GUI facility here, mostly, I'll type a command to see where is the best place to install it. Where is the best place I have a space. There is another command with df called, when I say df boot, I can only see a space for one file system. It's not that I have to always say df-h or df. I can simply say df /root. It simply shows me that output for a single file system. You see what I'm saying? So if I want to go sub directory level, I don't want to see at a high level. A high level is a good thing. Okay, I looked at like there is a 43% here, but unfortunately I received an alert saying file system is at 99%. Right? If I received an alert from a Unix guy saying, okay, this file system belongs to your database product or your application product and it is at 99%, I don't know what files to remove because Unix administrator cannot take a call on what files to remove from application side or database side, right? So what he does is he emails the respective team saying the mount point is 99% full. Please take necessary action. So when I receive such an email, I go to the cd /, okay, and I know that this mount point is 99% full, but which files to remove? How do you take a call? That's where this du command helps. It basically displays usage for the present working directory and its subdirectories along with size of each directory. Okay. If I let's say go to cd /temp, when I say du, it tells me that what are all the various files in this temp directory and how much is the space they occupied, right? And what is the total size. Got it what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that I can quickly see what are the files that are occupied. If let's say I got here something like 2 GB and it is just a temporary file, I can quickly remove that. Inside the directory how the space is allocated. Okay. I can simply say du-a, even it includes 0 byte sizes. I can say du-h, human readable format. I can just say du-s, it quickly says only 244, the final output. So if I don't want to include certain file types such as .txt or .exe while calculating the directory usage, I can say du-a and I can exclude this. I mean the basic purpose of du is to see the file usage at a directory level, right, at subdirectory level, so that I can take a better call on what to remove and what to keep. Any questions on this df or du, Hema and Anand? The next command that is related to disk usage is ulimit. Ulimit is at a broader level. Included it here because it makes little sense to these two commands. Ulimit is a command that tells me or limits the user resources. Okay. We discussed one of the Unix or Linux or any operating system's feature is multi-user capability, right? That means you can log in and work, Hema can log in, XYZ person can log in, and I can log in, and Tammy can log in, anyone can log in, right? And do the work. Just because one person is overusing the resources should not affect the other resources, right? Other associates who are working on it. When I talk about the resources, what are all the major resources is you have a CPU, you have an IO, you have a memory, you have like storage, and disk and storage both comes under the same stuff. So you have X, you have Y, and all these various resources. Ulimit is a command that restricts the resources, right? When I say ID, this is my user ID root. When I switch to other user ID here, when I say ID, my user ID is this. When I say who am I can see my user ID here. When I say ulimit -a, I'll get output like this.
Ravi, when you switch user ID, does it not ask you password?
Yeah, if you switch from root, no, it doesn't. When you come from root has a privilege to go to any user without a password. But whereas when you are trying to switch to this guy, it will ask because you are in a non-root user. Now what we are seeing here is ulimit minus a means core file size is 0 means unlimited. Right? So one thing that we mostly come across is core file size. What is this core file size is? If an application crashes or if a product crashes, it will write some core dump file somewhere. So that is unlimited. Right? That means it can generate an unlimited file. It's a good thing for me, but it might consume 99% or 100% of entire file system size because sometimes cores might be like in gigabits, 20, 30, 40, 100 gigs. It keeps on writing the dump. Right? You have to restrict such stuff here. Similarly, maximum number of user processes I can open is 1024 only. If I am trying to open another process or another application that creates a new process as 1025, it will fail. The maximum number of files I can open is 1024 only. So we looked at a command that vi, but we'll look at it in detail in next classes. When I say vi a.sh, I open one file. Like this, the maximum number of files I can open is 1024 only. Why these restrictions? So that other users don't get affected because of one person's mistake. This is, if you want to set a limit. For example, when you say ulimit -a, core file size is 0. If I want to modify core file size, ulimit -s, I have to say -c 1000. The core file size limit change to 1000 blocks. So these three are like a package to me.